The other one is you've got the grand jury rights still left in the jurisdiction of Victoria, and there's already 60 to 80 charged there. All you have to do is add your name to that application by an affidavit. You don't even have to go through the process that we've all been through. You only have to walk in there and say, add that to that. And what's your name? Always get their name at the desk, because maybe they're not there next day. Because I've seen them cover this and cover this and cover this. Why do they fear grand jury? Because grand jury can indict the criminal. Grand jury can indict Julia Gillard. As Christians, we forgive Julia Gillard. You have to. But you have to take her to court to see that she's a criminal. Is that a fair comment? Yes. I'm not saying things lightly here, because we've charged these people. There are people sitting in this room with documents already sitting in Melbourne because they jumped on a plane and they came into the courtroom and charged the judges that they saw pervert the justice on that day. Didn't you? Yes. Because I did say I would read it twice. Because I want to just let it dwell into you. We found it on One Nation's website. And since we found it and put it into our website and use it here, it's gone from One Nation's website. And we can't find the Hansards. But in a court of law, we need the Hansard. So anyone who finds the Hansards in relation to this statement, we need it. But we don't need it in a normal lecture. Because this is the smoking gun syndrome. Who pointed the gun and who fired the trigger? Or pulled the trigger? That's up to a jury to decide that. All I'm doing is presenting the evidence. You're the jury. You know I've already got an indictment in grand jury, don't you? Because you know something's wrong. It's easier to give the indictment and let it go to trial so it can be fully revealed. What is the olive branch that we have offered to the court? Make it a trial of the issue. What is the issue, said the court. I said, do you want a Masonic government or a Christian government? Because under Christ you will get protection. In a Masonic government you will lose every right you've got, including your house, your land, and anything you think you own, including your children. Is that to be looked forward to? Because that's what the UN is telling you in that statement there. They're saying, we can't get you till we've got the Republic. Excuse the expression. Did they wait till you voted on a Republic? Because they already told them to take the crown out. Wayne Martin, who is your Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of West Australia today? Wayne Martin. Wayne Martin has full knowledge the crown is removed. Is Wayne Martin sitting legally as your main judge in Western Australia?
No.
What are you going to do about him?
Charge.
Because he knows he's already charged. When Wayne Gluce went in front of him the other day, he held up his charge sheet of his grand jury application in Melbourne, to which Wayne Martin said, I don't give a hoot about that. That's your current judge in the highest court in this state. Is that what you're going to tolerate? Well, I'm not talking about the UN way over there. I'm talking about the UN's already sitting in your court here and in your pulpits here. Why? Because your pulpits are not revealing it. Am I saying it as clear as you're going to get it?
Yes.
The United Nations has given federal government a mandate of ownership. Now, in clear words, folks, that's socialism. In more extensive words, that's communism. And your inability to do something, please, that's why you're here. So I'm not talking to you in that manner. I'm talking to that DVD for the people who are still sitting. You don't sit when the battle's on. Is that a reasonable comment?
Yes, absolutely.
When a battle is on, you should be ready for it. They're Yes, they're stripping you. And they're stripping you naked in the spirit. Why? Because they took your pulpits off you. There's not a church that can be legal with the crown out. Is that a reasonable comment?
Yes.
There's not a courtroom that can be legal with the crown out. It doesn't matter whether it comes out of Western Australia or whether it comes out of Queensland. Because the one word in the Commonwealth Constitution is it's indissoluble, which means you can't affect it to the 100th part. And people died to look after that. Don't dance on their graves. And that includes the cross of Christ. Once the Republic has been proclaimed, they're not waiting for the Republic. They've told them to suspend your constitutions and suspend them 4 years ago. Am I making it as clear as you ever got it? Do you love that? All party parliamentary group for world government. There's an email. It's called One World Trust. Don't you love that word? Because I know a word that comes from God. He says, put your trust in me. People do a lot of documents to get trusts. Why? Because they're hiding things. And there's trusts been set up that already own your children and your houses. The only person who can nullify that for you is Almighty God. You better pick which side of this issue you're on. We call that website Elijah's Challenge, because that's the challenge that's in that website. He said, how long do you halt between two opinions? Can you make a decision on two opinions? You're going to have to pick one or the other, and pick which opinion you're going to go with. And you can stand up and say, I'm a New World Order person, I love it. Or I'm going back to Almighty God. Pick the side you're on. Now, Voices in Parliament, a brief study of a successful all-party parliamentary group. Her Majesty's government, don't you love those words? Her Majesty's government should make a... This is going to show you why I'm not a monarchist and neither why I'm a Republican. Because they're all in the same pot over there. One world government. Should make a solemn declaration that the creation of a world authority, do you love those words? Will be the aim for its foreign policy and invite other governments to associate themselves with such a declaration. That's why England didn't say diddly squat when the Crown was chucked out of your law. Got the point? Because you've got a whole lot of communists, socialists and international Fabian boys and Freemasons running the show over there. You got them here. One church pastor I went to here, he said, oh, we don't get involved in politics. What he never told me at the time, was he instructed all of his church as to who to vote for in the state election. And the one that they came down to choose was Matt Burney. What he never told his congregation is Matt Burney's a Freemason. That pastor is Larry Gibbs. Put it in his hand and say, Larry, you're accountable to God. Get accountable and make the man accountable. I've just named him on a DVD. Between 1947 and 67, the first 20 years of its life, the All-Party Group for World Government, see, they've been running for a long time, raised this declaration with the government 23 times through motions, questions and debates in Parliament and through letters to ministers and national newspapers. In November 1967, its 20th year, the government spokesman in the House of Lords stood up and said that Her Majesty's government are fully in agreement with world government. Step by step we will strive towards that goal. That's why they let them chuck the Crown out and opened you up to the UN. You don't like what you're seeing, do you? It hurts. It's supposed to hurt. It's meant to wake you up. Well, here we got the Queen and Rudd. What's that picture for? Anyone know what that picture's here for? That's a Masonic hand.